Welcome to the next edition of RavPod Divrei Torah. Today, let's bring our thoughts to the Parsha of the week, Parsha Bamidbar, opens with instructions from Moses about how Bnei Israel should set their camp in the Midbar, in the wilderness, a choreography that applied not only to when they were stationary, camped around the Mishkan, the tabernacle, and when they were in motion, marching ever so slowly but deliberately towards the eventual goal of arriving at the borders of the Jordan River just outside their promised land. 3 tribes to the north of the Mishkan, 3 tribes to the west, 3 tribes to the south, and 3 tribes to the west. Each tribe had a flag. The color of each flag matched the color of the gem associated with that tribe from the gems on the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol, the Choshen Mishpat. And in the middle of each flag was an emblem, a symbol, associated with the dream, the prophecy of Jacob near the end of the book of Genesis, Sefer Bereshit, where he foretold of the future of each of the 12 tribes. Symbols not all that terribly different from the zodiac signs of the months. Majestic indeed. Except that the Parsha then goes on to talk about Ish al Diglo, not only tribal flags, but individual flags. Ish al Diglo means each person had their flag. And the way the Parsha is written, it makes it sound like those flags were waved high and with pride. Well, if that's the case, think about the numbers potentially of the population of our ancestors at that time. Tens of thousands of people. What would it look like if all of them had flags? They were all high on poles. They'd be banging into each other. It would be hard to move, hard to proceed. Majesty would give way to confusion. Majesty would give way to a cacophony of energy. And what was intended to be organized and synchronized would be anything but. Unless perhaps we apply a little bit of imagination to the way the pasuk speaks so that it gives us a greater sense of understanding. When the verse says, Ish al Diglo, each person on their flag, does not need to be understood literally. Tens of thousands of flags on tens of thousands of poles, banging into each other and jockeying for a position and prominence. Rather, perhaps we can think about it as each individual having a contribution to make. My flag does not wave at the top of a stick. My flag is my contribution, my creativity, my volunteerism, my willingness to be present, my willingness to make a difference. Using that as an imaginary way of understanding what the pasuk might have meant with Ish al Diglo, now we're not dealing with confusion. We're not dealing with cacophony. We're dealing with a very unique, for its time, idea of democracy, where every individual in a society is respected for the contribution that he or she or they could make. So, of course, there were tall flags for the tribes, tall flags in the corners of the encampment. But what was the worth and the value of the nation if the contributions of individuals were somehow discounted? Moshe Rabbeinu was telling us that every contribution by every individual was valued and appreciated and had its place. Ish al Diglo. Maybe that contribution was creative thinking. Maybe that contribution was simply a willingness to be present at a time of need or desire. Maybe it was financial. Maybe it was a willingness to just chip in and make a difference where a difference needed to be made. Now we have a new level of majesty, a new sense of glory, where the nation marched in form and structure, and every individual in that pack of people had a sense of pride because of what they represented to the whole, not only what the whole represented to them. It's a two-way street that makes for a healthy society. It's a two-way street that makes for a healthy government. It's also a two-way street that makes for healthy religious communities. Religious communities should properly be represented by structure, by coordination, and by majesty. Let us always remember that the pillars, the foundations upon which those virtues stand, are the differences that individuals can make and the respect that individuals get for the contributions that they make. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for your time.